Shalom, welcome our viewers. This is Rgen. This is the show where we empower you for impact. I know you're wondering what is the exact meaning of the Rgen. It is the radical generation. If you have not noticed, they have arisen a generation that is so tenacious, that is so full of zeal, that is so impactful, but they need to be informed. So the purpose of this show is to empower you with impact. For impact by giving you requisite knowledge on various topics that are affecting our society in the here and now. So this evening we are located at Peak Rest BNBs. It is 100 meters from the CBD Nakuru town. Ample parking, there's security, the rooms are spacious, it is pocket friendly. Kindly, the details are on your screen so that we can go direct to the host, to the guest that we have prepared for you today. Now, today we're going to talk about vision. It is said that when a man does not have a vision, they don't have a future. And when you don't have a future, you inevitably go back to your past.
Wow.
One of the reasons as to why Solomon, the man who had a lot of wisdom, one of the reasons as to why he went back to his vomit, one of the reasons as to why he messed a lot and even brought the division in the house of Israel, was because he did not have his own vision. The only vision that Solomon had was what had been left to him by his father David. All right? He only had a vision to build the temple of God. Immediately he accomplished that. He did not have anything to call him for the future. And because of that, he found himself marrying 700 women, 300 concubines, and at the end of the day, this is what he said, vanity of vanities. But we are here to tell you, life is much more than that. Helen Keller said, the worst loss is not the loss of sight, but the loss of a vision. So our guest today is an expert in this field. And I want him to introduce himself, and then we're going to dive into this wonderful topic. Please stay with us. Welcome, sir.
Wonderful.
It's so good to have you.
Amazing.
It's so good to have you.
Good to be here.
Yes.
Good to be here.
Tell us about yourself.
So my name is Johnny.
All right.
John Madenge, born and raised in Nakuru.
Okay.
I've been a gym instructor for 20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
All right.
And I've been a youth pastor in the past. I now function as a life coach.
Oh, wonderful.
So I run this community center called the Lifestyle Community Center. It's in Racecourse, Nakuru, comprising of a gym, of a vocational training center, and a life coaching and counseling center.
That's amazing.
So basically my work is community empowerment. Yeah, that's what I do.
That's amazing.
Yes.
On matters vision, how did you develop this vision? Because you have mentioned that you came from a trainer, a gym instructor, then a youth pastor. Now you're doing your own thing.
Yes.
Did you have this vision in mind? Did it develop as a whole, or it has been developing in bits and pieces?
Well, actually, I'll tell you, it's been a journey.
All right.
So right from the beginning, you know, what I could see was just the gym. So I did that. Okay. So along the way, serving in church, you know, I'm a church guy. I love the church. So serving in church, one of those times, one of the teachers there, Sunday school teacher, didn't show up for the teens class. And so I was called upon to plug in there. And I loved it. It was plug and play. So I was there for quite a number of years, you know, 10 plus years. And so during that time, you know, developing programs for the youth led me more into life coaching.
Yeah.
You know, now that you're born again, so now what? How do you gain, you know, a victorious life? And so all these things was happening at the gym because I was still a gym instructor, running my own gym at the time. You know, so that has been.
So you are like a lay minister. You are still doing your things, but you're still useful in the church.
Yes. You know, I was, you know, both priest and king. You know, working in the marketplace, but you know, plugging into the things of God. You know, and so and I believe that is how it should be with everybody. So I was running the outfit as a gym.
Okay.
And that's as far as the vision went.
All right.
But as I kept growing, you know, the need to minister to larger communities. Because as a youth pastor, I was confined to just ministering to the youth. But now within the community, there were other needs. There were parenting. There were other needs, reaching out even to the children, to the leadership. Because now I was able to do a lot more. And guess what? Now we get to do that, all of that, within one location.
Amazing.
The community center.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
So tonight, as we have told our audience, we're going to talk about vision. How does vision help in stickability, for lack of a better term? Because you have to understand that we have a generation that is not really sticking into it.
Yes.
You see, you did not start where you are. Safaricom did not start selling data bundles, doing wonderful things.
Yes.
They started with airtime. But there was a vision.
Yes.
All right? So as we are talking about a vision, how does a vision bring the stickability?
Stickability. What a word. You know, they say that you don't need supervision. What you need is a supervision. That means a big vision. So when you have a big vision, it superintends over your future, over your plans. It's able to give you a glimpse into what could be. So now, it's not just about the immediate, it now moves into what could be into the future. So now, when you have a vision, a young man gaining a vision in the inner city. Do you know, Eric? Children born in poverty, get this, are four times more likely to end up in riches than children born in comfort.
Oh, say that again.
Children born in poverty.
All right.
Slum children, you know, inner city children, raised in abject poverty are 4 times more likely to grow up rich. As a matter of fact, the Forbes list, if you look at it, 90%, a good chunk of it, is made up of people that came up from nothing and made everything.
That's true.
So what is that? It's vision. Because right from childhood, they knew exactly what they didn't want. But they also knew something else. They knew what they want.
Yes.
A lot of times, if you look at, for example, Kawangware, if you've been to Kawangware, it's right at the border of Lavington. So guess what these children in the slum area see every day on their way? Something they like, but they don't have it.
They don't have it, yes.
So it brings about stickability, because until I get there, it's not yet Uhuru. Until I get there,
it's not yet Uhuru.
It's not yet Uhuru.
Yes.
So the child will be able to stick through what is difficult, through the education. You look at them studying with lanterns. They don't have electricity, no big deal. We will get a lantern.
Yes.
Why? They are able to stick through. Because after this suffering, there will come a joy. Do you see? So vision in that sense is able to introduce this person to something that can draw them out from where they are, from the pain of where they are.
If I can get it correctly, what I'm hearing you say is like your vision is more of your purpose in pictures.
Oh, right.
It's like God has shown you where you should be. And then you retract to your current. And then start pursuing that which you saw.
Yes.
What are some of the principles that everybody needs? Because we can't just say abstractly that everybody needs a vision. We need to inform our audience. How do I develop a vision?
Yeah.
How do I have a vision statement? Yeah, because I need something to be my guide.
Yes.
When everything is messy, when I'm broke, busted and disgusted, I still have hope for the future because there is an image that has stuck with me. You see, Abraham was told of the vision for him to become the father of many nations.
Right.
So while he was still barren, he had something to cling on.
Yes.
It was acting as an anchor.
Yes.
So how do people develop this?
Oh, well. You know, my bro, let me tell you something. There is something in man that God puts. It's called desire. You know, in other words, your passion. Somebody said, your passion signals your permission.
Oh, say that again.
Your passion signals your permission. That whatever it is you have passion for, many times will be an opening into what you're permitted to do. That means your passion, your desire. I told you I'm a church guy.
Yes.
So from time to time, you'll permit me, I'll be jumping into the Bible. So Song of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 11.
All right.
So this is a story. So the guy's just giving a story. If you read Song of Solomon, it's basically talking about a guy and his lover. So in this instance, Song of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 11, it says, I went down to the grove of the nut trees. Now just check this out.
Yeah.
It says, I went down to the grove of the nut trees.
Uh-huh.
What did I go to see? I went to see whether the pomegranates were in bloom, whether the nut trees had budded.
Uh-huh.
Then it says, before I realized it, my desire had set me along the royal chariots of my people.
His desire.
His desire. Simple desire, Eric. Simple desire. Small thing. What did the guy want? He didn't have a desire to go to State House. No. He didn't have a desire to meet Ruto one day.
No.
He had a desire, simple desire, to see whether the pomegranates were in bloom.
Yes.
But before he realized it, his desire had set him along the royal chariots of his people.
So desire is key.
Desire is a vehicle.
Oh.
So the moment you're in desire of
Yes.
something, understand that desire is not empty. Desire is a vehicle. It's taking you somewhere. Whether desire is good or not. Listen, the moment you have an appetite for something, understand that you're on your way to somewhere. You're either a miracle on your way to somewhere happening,
Yes.
or you're a disaster.
It can be both ways.
It can be both ways. So it begins, principles number one you asked, it begins
with the desire.
with a desire. It begins with a desire. Monitor your desire.
Monitor your
So
desire.
sometimes as a young man, you may be asking, man, I don't have a desire. I don't know, there are so many things to desire for. I don't have a desire. So it begins here. Delight yourself in the Lord. Penda Mungu wako. Kuwa close na Mungu wako. Mpende, mbonge, mfurahiane.
Yes.
Then the Bible says, He will give you the desires
of your heart. So your closeness,
Yes.
your relationship, your intimacy with the
Yes.
Lord will birth the desires
The
that
desire.
are innate in you.
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect.
And so the moment you gain a desire,
That's perfect.
it can be a desire for small things. It can be a desire for music. It can be a desire for community empowerment. It can be a desire for education. It can be a desire for anything. And so the idea is for you to capture your desire and to embrace it and to understand that I am not you. You and I are different. And to understand that in embracing my desire, I'm pretty much embracing my uniqueness.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I have permission to follow through. And that's why the Bible says, my desire has set me along the royal chariots of my people.
Amazing.
My people may have been seeking for the State House, but I was seeking after my desire. Do you see?
I hope you got that, my viewers. Your permission, your desire, your passion signals your permission.
Absolutely.
What are those desires? But you have to understand that they can go either way. They can be positive or negative. So ask yourself this evening, are you a miracle waiting to happen or a disaster waiting to implode? That is amazing.
Amazing.
All right. That is principle number one.
Principle number one. Number two.
You gain a desire. Number two.
Purpose. Purpose. Without the revelation of something, abuse is inevitable. If you don't know the use of something,
abuse is inevitable.
Yes. And so goes your life. If you don't know the use of your life, abuse is inevitable.
That's true.
That I can take my shoe and use it to nail a nail on the wall doesn't mean that is the ultimate use of the shoe.
That is true.
So if I don't know, I will keep using it to nail nails on the shoe.
And that's perversion.
Yes, and that's perversion.
Yeah.
So when you gain a purpose, your vision is basically your purpose in pictures.
Absolutely.
So when you gain your purpose, your meaning, the real reason as to why you exist, why are you gifted the way you are? Why did you come from where you came from? Why do you function the way you do? Why do you think the way you do? Why do you like what you like? I mean, this can be as different as people are. Born in the same family, born under the same, the same environment.
Yeah.
But desiring different things. I was listening this morning to a depiction, a story about how Queen Elizabeth ended up becoming queen. And so in the story, it is said that her father, King George V, was actually the second born in his family. And so his brother, King Edward, was actually the right one to ascend to the throne.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But he fell in love with a certain girl who was, and the story goes that he was not permitted to marry her as long as he was king.
Yeah.
And so he abdicated his throne.
For love's sake.
Yes, because as for him, he did not understand his makeup was for kingship.
No.
No.
He was carried away.
He was carried away
by romance.
I repeat again. If you don't know the use of something, abuse is inevitable. And so the thing is, you end up in a place by a single decision. You end up in a place where you ought not to have been by a decision because you didn't give heed to purpose.
That's amazing. Hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought.
Talk to me.
This guy sabotaged his destiny because of romance.
Because of romance.
Just hold on. We'll be right back after a short break. But before you go, remember what we said. You don't need supervision. What you really need is a supervision. Remember, this is your show, the Rgen, where we are empowering you for impact. We will be right back after some few minutes.